What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is August 31st of 2020. Well, folks, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are, and in today's video, we not only have to talk about the craze in decentralized finance as Uniswap has topped over $1 billion in total liquidity on the platform, but along with that as well, talk about the broader altcoin space and some of the plays that we've been watching in the market that have done really well, and also what we're looking for next. And outside of that, taking a look at traditional markets and seeing an interesting correlation with increasing prices and increased volatility. What does this mean for equity markets? We're going to be talking about all this and more right after our quick sponsor. Our sponsor for today's episode is Bitpanda Pro. Bitpanda Pro is the secure European exchange for crypto to fiat markets. Bitpanda has been offering secure, straightforward, and easy access to the cryptocurrency market in Europe for over 5 years and wants to offer the same service to more experienced traders, users using trading bots, and other advanced clients like cryptocurrency businesses and institutional investors. With the steady addition of more and more crypto to fiat trading pairs, Bitpanda Pro has made itself a convenient, secure, and trustworthy exchange to onboard or cash out easily. Check out the link down below in the description to learn more. Alrighty, everyone. So to start off here, taking a look over the last 24 hours, we can not only see that Ethereum is leading far beyond any of the major plays from Bitcoin to XRP and even some of the smaller plays down here. But along with that as well, taking a look over the last 24 hours, we can see that the continued trend of decentralized finance is leading the market. It's been doing this for not only multiple days and multiple weeks, but for a few months now. We've been talking about this through the entire summer. And we can see here that, for example, UMA, Flexicoin, BZX Protocol, Reserve Rights, Ren, Ampleforth, Aragon, a lot of these plays here are major Ethereum plays and predominantly major Ethereum DeFi plays. But I want to go ahead and highlight one thing today. Now, many of you know I created Digifox, one of the crypto wallets that allows you to make swaps to a variety of different cryptos. Well, that's powered by Uniswap, and Uniswap is this really interesting decentralized exchange tool that was created back a couple of years ago in the crypto space back in 2018. And I have to say that there has been a very historic moment here today, and that is Uniswap reaching over $1 billion in locked up assets or total locked up value into the protocol to provide liquidity for swaps. And I just want to emphasize how important this is. So first off, Uniswap as a whole has not only been operating soundly. If you make a swap on Uniswap, it will go through most likely, so long as you pay the proper gas fee. And it's settled on chain in a decentralized way. It's what's known as an automated market maker, AMM. And we're actually diving a bit deeper into this on the newsletter, but just to simply, kind of abstract the differences between an AMM in this case versus maybe a traditional exchange with an order book. The amazing thing about Uniswap is that its structure is extremely simple and how it functions. And we've seen here, because of that simplicity and because of its kind of open, permissionless nature to allow anyone to list any token on here, listing some of the new cutting edge tokens. And in fact, many of the projects in the space of crypto starting to do direct listings onto Uniswap and not even going through raising, in private sale rounds or doing ICOs. They're just listing straight to the community so that an everyday investor has the equal opportunity of a major VC or angel investor. And this has caused an absolute surge in Uniswap over the last few months. But recently, just over the last few days, from August 26th all the way here to August 30th, in 4 days, we have seen the liquidity on Uniswap triple, more than triple actually. We're now at $1.01 billion on Uniswap. So what has caused this phenomena here? Well, there's this new thing that has come out called Sushi Swap, which is kind of riding off the back of Uniswap as a platform. And long story short, they're a project in this case that's incentivizing people to provide liquidity, or basically their crypto, onto the Uniswap platform. Now, again, they're not giving it up in this case. You're putting it on the protocol in this case to earn not only the liquidity fees that you can earn, because Uniswap charges 0.3% for any trade, and that goes to providing to the people who are providing the liquidity, so you can actually make those liquid trades. But outside of that as well, Sushi Swap is this new interesting phenomena where they're giving these very speculative, unknowingly valuable tokens for free to people who provide liquidity on Uniswap. There's no cost to it to participate. It's just in this case that if you stake it through Sushi Swap and it goes through the Uniswap protocol, in this case, you can actually earn these interesting kind of ERC20 tokens on top of it. And the thing is, the market is giving these things value. So because of that, again, whether or not it's short-term or long-term, it's leading to a major spike in the amount of liquidity going to Uniswap. And it shows you just how close we are to getting, I think, that kind of final perfect incentive structure that's going to leapfrog liquidity to, from where we are at $1 billion to, 5 billion, 10 billion, possibly, well over 100 billion by the end of this year. Again, this stuff has been getting more and more vertical. It's been picking up pace. And these kind of milestones of, a few hundred million are coming in quicker and quicker. They're now on a daily basis now. And I think this is just absolutely phenomenal. And the really cool thing about all of this, guys, I just want to emphasize this. First off, I put out a tweet the other day. Many people doubted that decentralized exchanges would happen. But I got to tell you, one of the biggest benefits, and we're writing a newsletter piece on this for the month of September. So if you want to get kind of like a full in-depth view on what, Uniswap is and what automated market makers are, AMMs, you can definitely check that out. If you're a subscriber or you're looking to subscribe, there's a link down below in the description. But the key thing I want to emphasize here is that Uniswap, unlike Coinbase, which bear in mind it has outpaced Coinbase and Coinbase Pro combined in volume, speaks volumes of how big, no pun intended, how big Uniswap has become. But the amazing thing about Uniswap as a platform is that because it's built on Ethereum, it doesn't need a massive team of people 24/7 to operate the backend. It just works. And this is starting to make it very clear, this is one of the big benefits here of Ethereum as a network, right? Ethereum took a long time to get to this point here where people finally start to see it. But Ethereum has always promoted itself as a world computer, a non-censorable, constantly running supercomputer across the world, where you can run Uniswap at any time of the day. And so long as the Ethereum network's up, which it has been consecutively for a very long period of time, you can trade on Uniswap. So when there's high throughput and high volume and high demand, yes, maybe the fees are a little high right now. Yes, Uniswap needs to look towards doing layer 3. And I've pushed Hayden, who's the founder of Uniswap. I've pressed him, on Twitter a lot. And I hope to get to, talk to him sometime about, the plans for Uniswap version 3. We're currently on version 2 right now. About moving to layer 2. And they've already been testing with Plasma a little bit in the past through some of the demos they've made. But if they can do this, guys, traditional exchanges are in big trouble. Because you have all the benefits of decentralization, but also along with that as well, you have instant access to some of the most earliest emerging projects on the market. And that's extremely exciting. It really levels the playing field here. It's no longer that you have to wait for the major exchanges to list it. Everyone can get access to it. One of the examples of this that I think is really good is Ampleforth. Now, Ampleforth was one of the recommendations we made back here a couple of days ago. We made our first tweet here on the 19th of August, where we basically were calling for this to come down. Again, this was one of our free shares that we did on the YouTube channel and stuff that we had talked about in the newsletter. And what's so cool about this is that Ampleforth has been one of the best performers in the market. I'll even be honest in this sense, guys, as I put in my tweet, I took profits around 65% because I thought that after the peak of the day, we were going to see a bit of a pullback. But truth be told, it continued rallying here and went up a total of 134%. Last time I recorded this, it even went up higher to around a $320 million market cap. So continuing to climb, crazy types of returns. Again, Ampleforth is one of the DeFi plays we've been watching. We found one that was at a discount, and it's doing great. And the great thing is, again, speaking to Uniswap, it has great liquidity because they have incentive programs for people to deposit liquidity into Uniswap and build a liquid market for it. And it's so cool to see how DeFi is finally getting some solid mechanisms down to actually build markets for these new exciting projects. Again, a bit sporadic and stuff, but I think there's a lot of interesting things going on here at the end of the day. But anyways, I digress. Just wanted to share this with you guys. Going on to take a look at the broader altcoin market here, right? We took a look at some of our key plays, and we'll dive into some of those in a moment. I want to go ahead and talk about the broader altcoin market right now. First, taking a look at 100 minus BTCD, or basically altcoin dominance. We can see here that we've climbed from around 37.95 all the way to 39.26 here for the total percentage of dominance. Still channeling in within this range under 40%. Again, the kind of area where I'm going to get really excited is when we start to break above 40% and continue to climb. I do think we've got a little bit of time for some consolidation here, basically just sideways action where, liquidity is pushing in and out of different plays. I don't see the big surge in Bitcoin right now. And because of that, I think as much as we are seeing some new liquidity on ramps, I think you're still going to see it more in Bitcoin and also Ethereum before you really start to kind of chug up here and start seeing altcoins as a whole have a consistent set of double-digit days again. But all in all here, right, I wanted to talk a little bit. I know some people were asking about AMP before, then just kind of talking a little bit about it. One thing that I always emphasize, and the big reason why I was taking profits generally around about $1.29 for the position, is because it tends to be that usually AMP4 tops out around this range, right? And I always like to try to be a little less greedy. We saw back here that when it had its first acceleration rally here, it kind of topped out at this range below this one white line here. So as we were getting closer to that, I wanted to take some profits and hopefully buy back in on a dip when it came back more to the peg, basically as AMP4 is trying to go back to $1 inevitably. But it overshot here, going all the way to $2, and now we're starting to see a pullback here. So for me personally, I'm not FOMOing back into this. If you take a look at the hourly, it looks very clear here that we're actually getting a nice substantial pullback, and I think we're going to continue to see that pullback here over the next 2 or 3 days, as we saw back here. Right? Who knows if it'll go all the way back down to the dollar peg. I don't want to claim it's going to do that. We have another few plays here. Kava as well, still holding up on this baseline of support up here. We'll see if that continues to happen. And there was also a few things that I wanted to dive into, more specifically the broader cryptocurrencies. Ethereum rallying back up near its relative highs here for 2020. Still looking great on the longer term chart. I'm going to go ahead. Well, I think we can actually just probably bring it up here. Plonix has got some good price action. Take a look at the weekly here. I mean, guys, look at this chart. We now have ETH building a base on top of the previous resistance for where it moonshotted in this case. It went all the way from $400 all the way up to around $1,400. I know, guys, that crypto has been accelerating very quickly, and yes, there's a lot of FOMO left and right. There's a lot of craziness going on, and a lot of this stuff in DeFi, as I've mentioned before, it's highly speculative, right? But for me personally, as a trader, I like to trade momentum. I don't try to bet against this, right? And again, we're seeing this not just in DeFi and the broad plays. We're seeing in Litecoin. Some of these other plays are starting to look like they're picking up pace. They're setting in higher lows and higher highs. They're looking ready to start taking on some momentum. Now, we've also got the crypto ratios as well that I want to go over here. Taking a look here at the broader indexes for decentralized exchanges, we've been seeing kind of a consolidation between a lot of the major DEX tokens here, just kind of pushing sideways since back here in July. Again, haven't been too crazy on trading Kyber Network, Bancor, Ren as of recent. We really called them for back in July when they were doing well. The major thing I wanted to go over, though, is that there is the ADA pair here against Ethereum. Now, as you all know, I like to take a look at crypto ratios, and one of them that I've been watching is for Cardano. So what I'm looking for at this point, now that we've closed below the line of support here, and again, I brought this back up here in July for those who are big Cardano fans. I know many of you are out there, and I want to try to cover it as much as I can. The point I want to bring up here is that I still do believe that Cardano's probably got a ways to go down in this case, at least comparative to Ethereum in the sense of momentum, because it's broken its secondary line of support here, which again is what I was looking for it to hold. It did not do that. So unless we get some kind of upward price action soon or Ethereum starts to sell off, you're better probably positioned in this case in Ethereum than Cardano in the short term. But this could be just a matter of a few weeks, and then we could get a really significant rebound. Maybe Cardano is going to have some developing news for building DeFi applications or things of that sort. I don't know, right? I don't want to be too opinionated on it. I just want to basically explain how with crypto ratios here, you can start to get a very clear picture of, what asset is outpacing the other. When this is going up, ADA is doing better. When it's going down, it means Ethereum's outpacing it. So last thing that I wanted to talk about here. This is to do with traditional equity markets, and as you all know, I still like to cover a decent amount of traditional markets. It's not as exciting as DeFi and crypto, yes, but I recommend everyone listen into this one because this is something that's very important to understand. A lot of people associate volatility on the market as simply meaning that something's going down, when in reality, volatility is more in reference to the spread or the kind of dynamic of price within a given period of time. And when you think about the VIX, or the volatility index, it's a measurement of basically options for the S&P 500 and the spread that you're starting to see with these options contracts. So again, when we take a look at volatility, it can actually still be happening when we have an upward market. It refers to uncertainty and speculativeness in the market. And what's interesting is that over the last few weeks here, if we take a look at the VIX, zoom in here, we can see here over the last 3 weeks here, and we're stepping in for our next week here, our fourth week, we've been seeing slightly higher levels in the VIX here. But at the same time, if you were to take a look at the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, you probably wouldn't bat an eye at the volatility. In fact, if we take a look here over the last 4 weeks, last 3 weeks more specifically, because we haven't started the new week just yet, markets are still closed, markets have accelerated higher. In fact, just taking a look here at the NASDAQ, right, from the open, right, almost up about 5%. Take a look. Oh, sorry, that was the S&P 500. My apologies. I was going to say that seemed kind of short. The NASDAQ did even better. And we'll go ahead and change it green here just so it's more fitting. Take a look here at the open. Right? 6.21%. In a period where volatility is increasing. Now, what does this tell us about the current market? Where have we seen this before? The last time we've really seen this in the market when it came to traditional equities was back during the dot-com bubble, when we started to accelerate upward in the later part of the 90s, from around 1995 to 2000. And we can take a look at the VIX here, right? This, bear in mind, the VIX is only measuring the S&P 500, okay? So you can see here that even during that time period, volatility spiked up very, very high here going into the 90s. Well, at the same time, the NASDAQ is picking up steam throughout this entire time. So, again, my point here that I want to emphasize is that I know a lot of people, including myself, right, we were bearish on equities a while back. We really did make a decent call here. Again, we didn't expect COVID to accelerate things so much back when it did. No one could have expected that, I think, to the degree that that it really affected global markets. But the key thing here is that equities are probably going to continue riding. They're going to keep going up. I've emphasized to possibly stay away. One thing we've talked about a lot in the newsletter group is, and also here on the channel, I always try to share you guys my general sentiment on things. The key thing that I've always emphasized is that, I try to stay away from the FANG stocks, but I do believe that there's going to be a lot of small and mid-cap stocks that just blow out everything out of the water in regards to traditional equities, blow out expectations. Because we're entering into the mania phase here. What we've seen so far, it's great and all, but the NASDAQ can continue to accelerate here. And, who knows how quick things can start to climb. We've already proven in this case that we're going to go well beyond the doubling of the dot-com bubble. It's already happened. So what's next? According to the monthly chart here for the NASDAQ, since the Fed has printed a crap ton of money, corporates are getting bailed out, getting tons of cash, probably prepping up for some stock buybacks again. The sky's the limit, and especially with the wave of retail traders that we have. It's all coming very, very fast. So anyways, guys, sorry if I come across as not per se negative on this. I mean, it's the cold reality of things. But I just wanted to share this with you all, as I always like to do, and just be as honest as possible. I'd like to hear what you all think down below in the comments, though. What have you got your eyes on right now? You guys excited about what's going on in DeFi? The spike in liquidity that we've seen in Uniswap. Again, one thing I want to emphasize, if you guys want to get more updates like this, you can always follow me over at Nicholas_Merton on Twitter. It's probably my most active social media account. But all in all, I hope you're all having a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay tuned, everyone.